right, Dr. Feagins, thank you for coming and joining today. I'm excited to talk to you. We've had a lot of great interactions since you've been here.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing first few months for you. How are you feeling in your first 100 days?
You know, glad I made it to 100, right? So to get to 101 is when we actually had the event,
Right.
shared out some good things that were happening. So I'm still excited, still, focused, ready to get to the new year, which is where it all, really starts. But things are going well.
Yeah, so you're 100 days in. So why Memphis? What made you choose this market?
Yeah, I would say Memphis chose me, right? Education itself is a calling, but to ascend to the superintendency, you really have to be certain that this is something that you want to do, right? Certainly a public-facing position. One, all of the weight becomes yours. You can no longer serve in the shadows as you are, gaining experience, if you will, and learning the ropes. Now it is yours to do all the things you said you would do differently or better as you've watched. And so that was two. But in terms of the city itself, I wanted to be closer to home. So that was important, being from Alabama, closer to friends and family. I also looked at what the district offers. I'm looking for opportunities, and for me, that's challenges. And so when I think about my background and the trajectory of my professional experience, it's about putting it all together. And so having traveled as a teacher, a professional school counselor, assistant principal, really climbing the stairs, if you will, how do we put all of this good work together and serve, at this point, more than 115,000 students and families that are connected to a city that's hungry for something great. They want to see the district itself and the individual schools that make up the district be taken to the next level, and respectfully, as a community that wants to go along the journey.
Absolutely.
And so when I put my name in the hat, of course, I didn't get it the first time around, so I was like, okay, well, no, delayed, not denied.
That's right.
And so pitched again, and they'll have to tell me no, was my mentality. So traveling through the process, just making sure that I was sure that this is a place that I can go and be impactful,
Right.
not serve in a title. Those things don't move me and drive me. It is about, can I leave this place better than it was when I received it? And so it's been good, and I look forward to what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit the ground running. So what things are you most proud of so far, and what has surprised you most?
Things I'm most proud of is getting students involved, right? Like their voices are always a little muffled or not heard at all, or we typically think of them as kids who don't really have a whole lot to say or can't really say much to inform decisions. And I've always thought of it quite the opposite. Students have always been at the forefront for me. They've served and given presentations to mayors, city council folks. They've really been a part of not just the classroom, but really getting into the public to share many of the messages. People listen to kids.
Yeah.
And so that has been exciting. 103 of them served as legacy builders, the student arm of my transition team. So we will more than quadruple that in the fall, having more representatives from each school, and I'll meet with them 4 times a year. And so much of the budget was driven by them. Many of our solutions have been driven by them. So having students involved has been phenomenal. Seeing the community get involved has been exciting as well. When people say, hey, I like being able to touch and feel and talk to the leader of the space that's making decisions on behalf of my kid. They stay with you all for, more than 8 hours a day in some parts. And so that has been good. And more than 14,000 people logged in to watch a budget presentation, right? And so that has been outstanding as well. I think that having individuals in a community who understand a district, education, all of the moving parts, but more importantly, how instrumental and how necessary their involvement has been exciting as well. I think in terms of surprises, I've seen a whole lot in my short time on this side of the dirt, is how I say it. But in terms of surprises, I think what has kind of stood out to me so far is there's a bit of disconnect, if you will. Like, we all want to do great things, but there's a bit of disconnect in how we go and move forward collaboratively, even internally, right? Just with my team, they were sharing with me, you force us to work together and collaborate. We're accustomed to operating in silos and on islands, and none of this work can be done, individually, and certainly we can't go as far as we need to by ourselves. And so, just seeing that and just wondering, how did we get here if everybody's just been doing their own thing? thing. So that's been one thing, but not really surprising, but it's been interesting
Well,
to see the
I love
outcome.
that spirit and that energy, because one of the things that I want to do is just make sure that we have a strong working relationship between the city and the school system. You've done an amazing job getting the energy high. People are optimistic, and I think that's what our city needs. What do you think our city is getting right so far? What are the things that are going right? What's going well for us?
You know, the hardest part of change is just embracing it. And so that's glossed over. People have to be open to change. And I think that is something that the city of Memphis is getting right. Just being welcoming of, open to, and just, okay, you know, let's just see what new leaders, fresh ideas, where can they take us, and how do we get on board to do the same? And so you being a fresh face, right, and certainly a little further into your tenure than I, but I think that in itself is one. The other thing is just maintaining a connection to history. So historical context has always been important to me, A, so that we don't repeat some of the same things, right? But B, that's how we are informed. It is what often drives the desire to be a leader and to be impactful, is what you've witnessed, experienced, heard about, read about historically. And Memphis has a rich history, and a lot has happened here to really pave the way for us and really give us an inkling of what we could do collectively, for sure. I think that, you know, as a third thing that the city is getting right, is providing more jobs, like just being really intentional about drawing and attracting more companies in, and thinking about our small business owners as well and how we do that work. I spoke at the Opportunity Conference the other day. More than 159 folks were there, and that's what they want to know. How do we do more work with the district? And more importantly, how can the district do better about honoring its small businesses so that we can have our fair share of some of the work for the second largest employer in the city? So it's good stuff.
Well, I love to hear you say that, because I've long believed that in order for us to truly get to the economic heights that we're going to reach, we have to have alignment with our educational system, and we have to ensure that we are training for the jobs of the future. And I love that you are poised to help us get there. And so where do we need investment? Where do we need to make improvements as a community?
Investments and improvements. I think it's still in the same vein, more opportunities for individuals. So we think about education being the core and the foundation of that. Where are we sending our kids, right, to do great work? Certainly I want our students to have exposure and go see more of the world, but ultimately I'd like for them to be able to do great work here. And so, you know, filmmaking industry is something some of our students have mentioned, like, can we have opportunities there? The fashion industry, you know, can we have opportunities there? They want to do more with artificial intelligence. AI is here, it's not coming, it's here, right? So how do we, you know, really build for the now as we think about shaping and sharpening the future? So more opportunities, business oriented and workforce would be one. I think a deeper investment certainly in our education. We talk about the outcomes and what we're not seeing, but it requires an investment, right? And certainly that's not readily understood when you've been seeing some of the same outcomes for so long. You don't really understand the connection between investment. And certainly that means financial investment, but it means our collective investment, individually showing up, mentorship, volunteering, providing the levels of exposures and sharing your story. Like there are hundreds of ways, you know, to be involved. I think another area in terms of investment would be, you know, leadership-wise. There are folks who want to be politicians. They aspire to be connected to government. Understanding policy is one of those areas that's glossed over as well. That's how most of our decisions are made. You know, we're not sitting in a vacuum and making those decisions. So, you know, just leadership academies, and I know that the city has one, but more of that, and especially for our younger students was what we're working on as well.
Yeah, incredible. So I wouldn't want to have this conversation without giving you an opportunity to tell us what you need from us. What do you need from the community? What do you need to help you be successful in your role and get the outcomes that you want for our community?
Yeah, you know what's number one right now, top of mind, certainly with students always being first, but I think about the narrative of the district. That impacts trust. And when people don't trust the thing, they don't invest in the thing, they don't support it, they don't show up. And so we've been really trying to work on rebranding, but authentically doing so. And so that's relationships, stretching myself, but also the team across the city and the county, and just really putting our faces there to reestablish Memphis Shelby County Schools as a space that could be trusted, right? Certainly to do great work, but to be trusted with people and how we service the same. So that's one, just giving us a shot, right? Yeah. The other thing, certainly I mentioned investment. I'm thankful to you for even just asking, City Council for an investment in the schools. We know that we have infrastructure opportunities, if you will. And so just receiving that funding this year, I think was a big deal. Hasn't been done in more than a decade. And so, thankful to you and City Council for just going in that direction and being willing to travel, in the future in the same way. So that's helpful also. The community understanding, what's at stake. Right. So continuing to log in to the meetings, show up, be present, asking the sharp questions, whether you have students in the district or not, how we fare, the success of Memphis Shelby County Schools impacts everyone. So those are a few ways.
What's your favorite thing about Memphis so far?
Favorite thing, Memphis is real. It's all, the people are authentic. You either like you or you don't, right? And
they will let you know what
absolutely. I think I'm riding a fair line right now in terms of just making tough decisions that can't be explained in an email or explained in a quick shot in the media. But I like authenticity. I know what I'm dealing with, working with. It allows me to just be prepared, but I'm an authentic person. Like, what you see is really what you get. So I love that about the city. I also like certainly being closer to home has been helpful. So the hospitality has been good to hear the yes ma'ams and hi and how are you? Back in the South, nothing like it. So love that. Also like the spirit of sports. I'm a sports fanatic. So just seeing people, be excited about the Grizzlies.
Have you been here for the Grizzlies season? You hadn't been here for a full season.
I came right on the end.
Yeah. So get ready for a good one.
Right. Yeah. So that's exciting as well. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Great. Well, we are excited to have you. So what are you looking forward to as you envision the future of schools? You're getting ready to start the new year. This is your first start of a school year. So what do you envision as the future of our schools for the next year and beyond?
Yeah. So, we're making deep investments in our schools, certainly trying to ensure there's a certified teacher in every classroom. But you've seen me pushing the resources closer to schools, if not directly in the classrooms, because that's where the magic happens. And that's the only way we get different results, but certainly the types of results that are reflective of the types of students that we serve. We have some geniuses, in our spaces, and our results are not indicative of the same. We have some outstanding professionals who show up every day to do this work, and our results are not showing the same. And so I'd like for us to be in a space where we can at least align with what we're seeing, because it's demonstrating more of who we are. So that's, a part of the vision. I've said it publicly and very boldly and laughably to some, but I'm standing on it still today, that we will be an exemplar for the state and a model for the nation of how to do great work, certainly in the space of education, but demonstrating the same because we understand the necessity for collaboration, for consistency, and for sharp communication. I'd also like for, on the other side of a year, our employees, our team members to say, I still want to be here. As I read and receive some of the comments, I'm coming back to the district because I'm choosing to stay. One more year, I could retire because. And so I'd like for the morale to be in such a space that we don't have trouble, attracting additional high-performing game changers to come do this work for us.
Yeah, I mean, your success is our success as a city, and it's so critical that we work together. So I'm excited to have you in this role. We're coming upon election season. I think it's underway right now. And, there are a number of school board, not all the school board seats, and I know you technically report to the school board, but they are your partners in this work. And so what role does the school board play in creating that vision that you just talked about, a stronger school system?
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate you asking that question. I don't know that everybody understands, the impact of a smart board member, the power that sits with the 9 here. But across the nation, that's how decisions are made. That is the governing body. And, in tandem with the superintendent, that's where the decisions sit. They are responsible for the budget and the finance and ensuring that it is a structured one, not just a balanced one. Right. They are certainly responsible for selecting the superintendent and holding me, to the highest level of accountability to attain the goals that they've set forth, right? And so it is a position that is not just, popularity and let's get in a seat and warm it up. There are 115 lives right now that are always on the line. Every decision that we make, and the ones that we don't make, more importantly, impacts a life. And we know that each life is connected to hundreds of them. And so board members in this regard, looking for and hoping for a smart board, and I've shared that publicly, meaning that they're ready to learn, deeper insights about budgets. They are prepared to really ask the challenging questions that haven't been asked before. They are ready to share with their constituents as they represent 9 different, districts and the district overall, ready to share what we need from our communities as well, and to hold a standard for our parents and families, and ready to celebrate the same. And so it's a job, and it is not one that is light and can be taken lighthearted. So I do, just in general, I'm always an advocate and proponent of voting. So I hope that everyone shows up in waves to really participate in not just this election, but every election. What's on the line here, Mayor Young, cannot be overstated.
Absolutely.
A lot is at stake. And with 5 seats up, I'm prepared to work with whomever, is selected. But I do hope that the community understands the importance of their vote. And I hope that each candidate that is running is prepared to do some outstanding work. I have some ambitious goals and vision, for the district. And I hope that they have the same, right? So that we no longer cut our students short, sell them short of the type of experience that they deserve, the level of exposure that they desire, and ultimately the quality and caliber of education that they need to go out and be contributing citizens.
That's amazing. I mean, I think you're spot on. It's so important that we have strong board members, strong leaders as we go on this journey to transform our city, our school system, our community as a whole. There's one last thing.
Sure.
Our Director of Housing and Community Development, Ashley Cash, and I have had some conversations over the past couple of weeks. We saw that you have been doing some recruiting for teachers in other cities and other communities. I know that you held a fair in Birmingham, which is really, really exciting. Mm-hmm. And we have a program here at the City of Memphis where we would like to partner with you all. We have what we call a down payment assistance program, where we can provide funding for individuals that are looking to purchase homes in our community. And so we have set aside $500,000 for the program for teachers specifically. And so we want to help you incentivize those to come to our city, enjoy our city, and be great educators in the school system. And so we're excited to partner with you all on that.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I think about, I've moved at this point probably 5 or 6 times. Heard Nick Saban say that he and his family moved 17 times before he arrived at Alabama. Moving is expensive, and it's incredibly expensive as an educator. And so this is outstanding news. And to be able to purchase a home is even more significant as we think about the power that lies in being a homeowner. We have been able to partner with some apartment complexes, but the power of home ownership in itself and being able to make that available to our educators so they don't have to choose, career or, purchasing a home. I appreciate you and the city for really partnering with us to make that possible. I can remember living in a different space and they actually offered to us, if the home was $150,000, you could get it for half. For us, for educators, police officers, and those who served in the fire department. And so maybe, you know, something like that could be entertained as we think about innovative ways to move forward. But this is certainly outstanding. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I appreciate that idea. Those are the types of things that we want to bring to bear for our community. And so we look forward to working in partnership together for many years to come.
Good stuff. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.